I've been helping people grow their businesses and careers for nearly 2 decades. From individual producers to C-suite executives, I've worked with professionals across sales, leadership, and entrepreneurship. People that are committed to getting better and performing at a higher level. Every week, someone asks me, how do I sell more? How do I become more confident? How do I lead better? How do I do it that aligns with who I am and what I value? We've coached thousands of professionals and been part of a team who spent over 600,000 hours coaching individuals in over 37 countries. I've studied the best in sales and leadership, and I've practiced it firsthand by knocking on over 40,000 cold doors. We're going to unpack the critical frameworks behind influence, persuasion, and performance. You'll learn how to identify needs, qualify the right prospects, create urgency, and close with confidence without feeling salesy or manipulative. Because the truth is, sales is everywhere. Whether you're leading a team, raising capital, recruiting top talent, or asking your kids to clean their rooms, you are in the business of influence. And influence is what we're going to master. Let's dig in. There's a whole category of things that trip people up when it comes to selling, especially if they've never been coached professionally or trained. The first one, over-promising and under-delivering. When your compensation isn't tied to your client's long-term success, when it's just about getting the sale, you create a culture where people will say anything just to get the close. That's not sales. That's desperation in a suit. And what happens? The client feels misled. They ghost you. Or worse, they tell everyone that they know not to work with you. Most people don't follow a proven sales process. They're good talkers, but they haven't mastered the art of asking good questions. They wing it. They do what feels natural or comfortable, but not what's actually effective. They don't role play. They don't rehearse. They're not open to feedback. They're just stuck in their own habits. So they might get the sale, but it's flimsy. The buyer wasn't really bought in. They just said yes to get you off the phone or get out of a meeting. And then they vanish. Canceled credit card, they no-show. Another deal that just vanished out of thin air. That's why process matters. That's why in our system, we don't just teach you how to close, we teach you how to create commitment. One of the tools that we use is a no means yes close. Now, if you're getting any value so far, make sure to hit that like button. Now, a no means yes close is really simple. So it could go something like this. Awesome. We're excited to work with you. Just curious. If we were to get going, is there any reason why we shouldn't take that next step? What that does is it reinforces that decision in their mind before the buyer's remorse ever has a chance to creep in. They've literally told you, nope, no reason why we shouldn't move forward. Let's get going. Another big mistake that we tend to see is people treat sales like a script. They memorize lines, they say them in order, and they wonder why it's not landing. The truth is, sales isn't just about reciting a script. It's about using a talk track. That means knowing your process so well that you can stay present, adapt in real time, and truly listen. If you're locked into a rigid script, you're truly going to miss what the prospect is trying to tell you. And if the prospect feels unheard, you've already lost. Another critical miss, not taking notes. Too many reps. Myself for a long time, jumped from one call to the next without documenting anything. No notes, no context, no clarity. And then what happens? It feels disorganized when you talk to them again and you're asking the same questions over again, or they're having to restate something that they've already said before. You've lost trust. A 5-minute recap after every call could absolutely change that client experience. Or better yet, use an AI tool to capture literally everything that they're saying and put it in a little bow with everything that you need. That way you have the goals, the pain points, who's on the team, what they're trying to solve. That way, when you're jumping on the next call with them, you can ask them simple questions like, hey, how'd that conversation go with Steve? Or how was that Christmas party over the weekend? Or whatever that may be, to continue to build rapport, because it shows that you're listening, which is true, and you're also just taking really good notes. That's how you build confidence in yourself and the prospect, and that's how you create alignment. That's how you turn one sale into a long-term relationship. Another huge area, where the sale falls apart is follow-up. Most fortunes are made through the follow-up, but most salespeople treat it like an afterthought. Their ADD kicks in and they tend to jump to the next thing without thinking about, hey, who are one or two people that I need to make sure to stay on top of from the previous week? Or worse, that follow-up is done in a way that actually pushes that prospect out of the door. If your follow-up sounds like just following up just to see if you have any questions, you've already lost. It's generic, it doesn't have value, it sounds gross, and it screams, I need a sale. We teach our clients to shift their mindset. Follow-up isn't a task, it's an opportunity to serve. Instead of chasing, you're leading. Instead of being annoying, you're being relevant and helpful. A better approach might sound like this. Hey, I thought about our conversation the other day, especially what you said about trying to get your team re-engaged. I was just on a phone with another client and they were experiencing a lot of the same thing. And I wanted to share an article that they felt like really helped. Thought it might be a useful tool for you too. Let me know if you want to talk through any ideas. That follow-up, it builds trust. It positions you as a partner, not a pusher. And it keeps the relationship warm, even if the timing isn't perfect yet. So remember, don't follow up just to check a box. Follow up to create momentum. Another key point, your first customer shouldn't necessarily come from a cold call. It should come from your existing network. The easiest way to get early traction, whether you're launching a new product, starting a new business, starting a new territory, is simply to ask, hey, I'm working on something that simply helps people blank. Who do you know that would benefit from having a conversation? 9 times out of 10, they might say something like, yeah, I'd actually benefit in having that conversation. Or, you know what? I actually have somebody I feel like I should connect you with. Don't overthink this. You have your phone, you have contacts in your phone. Open up your phone, open up LinkedIn, open up Facebook, go through your contacts and ask yourself, who's someone in my contacts that might need what I have to offer? Or better yet, we call this your Hot 100. Who are 100 people that know, like, and trust you? And your goal isn't necessarily to sell them, it's to get connected to other great people because they like you. Number 2 is the approach. It's, in our world, it's the first meaningful point of contact. The whole focus of the call is not just to book appointments, but it's actually to build trust, create rapport, and make sure that it makes sense to set up another conversation. So one of the things that we touch on is this concept called the golden nugget. The golden nugget is what's 1 or 2 really key facts about that individual before I pick up the phone that I can actually use to connect with them. Because let's say I'm selling a house and I get referred from a buddy to, hey, call so-and-so. Instead of me just saying, great, what are they looking for? What's the price? Tell me more about that. No. How do you know that individual? What are 1 or 2 fun facts about that person that most people wouldn't know about him? What are a couple things that you really respect about that person as an individual? Because if you call and your whole focus is, hey, I heard you're wanting to list your house, or hey, I heard you're wanting to buy, if they've already had conversations with other people and built rapport, you're not going anywhere. Compare that to, hey, I talked to my buddy Steve. Man, he had the nicest things to say about you. He said, you are the absolute incredible best parent that he knows. He told me you're big into pickleball. Is that true, or is he pulling my leg? How are you building that initial connection? So after you've done the approach, let's talk about the qualifying, or what we call the introduction. If you believe everyone is a potential buyer, you're already wasting your time. Top producers know sales isn't about convincing everyone. It's about filtering fast. So we like to call this CLASP, C-L-A-S-P. Currently like alter, signer, and painting the picture. We're learning very quickly, is this person a good fit? Without bombarding them with puking on, here's why this product is great for you and here's why you're gonna love it. No, we're asking them questions so they can qualify themselves. And at the end of that conversation, you very quickly know, am I talking to somebody that sees interest and value in this? I'm saving their time, I'm saving my time. If you want a deeper dive in exactly what that looks like, go ahead and check out this video that I did. Closing isn't about pressure. It's about connecting the dots between the pain that they've shared and the transformation that they want. By the time you've reached this point, now you're just guiding them through the conversation. So summarize what you've heard. Start by reflecting back their pain points. This reminds them why they're there having a conversation with you. So Mr. Prospect, you told me that your team is flatlining. Your motivation's dropped off, and you're tired of feeling like you're surviving instead of leading. You've also mentioned wanting to regain some clarity, build stronger systems, and start hitting the goals that you've set. Did I get that right? This anchors them emotionally in the conversation. Let me ask you, if coaching could help you get unstuck and start growing again, is that something you'd be excited to move forward with? Now you offer coaching not as a maybe, but as a natural next step. That's why coaching exists. It gives you the accountability, structure, and systems to help break through those bad habits and get refocused on what's most important to you. If you're serious about turning this around, I recommend we get going today. What do you think? Now you can also let them sell themselves. You can ask simple questions. Why do you think coaching would be a good fit for you right now? What's the biggest reason this needs to change right now? Why is this the right time to invest in yourself or your team? This makes the commitment internal, not just verbal. Now, don't ask if they want to move forward. Ask how. Would you prefer mornings or afternoons for sessions? Would you prefer a male or a female coach? What's the most impactful thing you'd like to dig into first? You can even use what we call the 3 C's close. Can I count on you to be coachable? Can I count on you to be committed? Can I count on you to be ready to change? Now, for whatever reason, you answered the objection, they need time. Make sure to actually lock a time in with them. Great. I'll go ahead and send over the summary and the proposal. Can we go ahead and schedule a 15-minute follow-up to walk through it together? Now, one bonus part is when you start to hear, wow, that's awesome. That's what you guys do. Don't miss it. That's your window. When someone says, this is awesome, I wish I'd done this sooner, that's when you ask, I'm glad you feel that way. Who else should I be having conversations with as well? Use the energy of their breakthrough. Leverage the emotion in the moment. That's when referrals are warm, real, and easy to give. Because great clients, guess what? No other great clients. And that's 18 years of sales, coaching, and leadership knowledge backed up by 160 years of selling through Southwestern. All distilled down to this. Serve people well, solve their problems, and never miss a moment to multiply impact.